and it's a privilege, and I've been trusted to carry a message, a simple message that, when I first came in, blew me away. It did. I was one of these hopeless addicts that we all hear about, a typical addict, an average addict, gyro junkie, I did all the things addicts do in order to get drugs, I used drugs, they used me, I had to have drugs at all costs. It didn't matter who I stepped over, who I hurt, where I got the money from, I had to have drugs at all costs. And that was my dilemma. I couldn't live with and I couldn't live without drugs. It took me to a place where we often hear about, and that's this place of absolute desperation, absolute hopelessness. The fight had been beaten out of me because I was a clever addict. In my own head, I was a clever addict because I always managed to get money. I always survived out there, and with 3 months left to live, I'm still thinking I'm a clever addict. The cleverest thing I ever did was hold my hands up and say, I'm beaten. I'm absolutely beaten. Please show me. And it took another addict, a friend of mine that I'd used with for years. I'd suddenly come out of an institution yet again, X amount of institutions, and he was there, and he was a different guy. He talked differently, he acted differently. His attitude towards life was different. We used to sit around and whinge. We were professional whingers and misery guts, back in those days. But this guy wasn't speaking that way. And I asked him what he had done. He took me along to a meeting, and, a meeting very similar to this one, a meeting that shared the common solution. We're all brought together because we share this common illness. But here was a meeting. It wasn't just one person saying one thing and another person saying another thing. Like I see in an awful lot of meetings through where I live. This was a meeting where everybody rode in the same direction. Everybody sung from the same hymn sheet. They all talked about the steps, sponsorship, and recovery. And, they set about telling me how they had recovered. Not one person told me what I had to do. Not one person told me what I should do or what I could do. Or anything. They all told me what they had done. And I sat and I listened quite intently, really, because, as I said, I had 3 months to live. I didn't know where I was going to go or where else I had to go, because I was at my wit's end. And here was a group of people telling me that through getting sponsorship, working the 12-step program with a sponsor, they would get recovery. And they would recover from this illness.